Welcome back. Now, tests in general can be grouped into three main categories. Now, everybody has their own definition, and sometimes somebody's definition might overlap with the other category, but just as a mental framework, think of tests as having three main distinct types. The first are unit tests. And these are the most common, the easiest to implement, and the ones that are really important to have in your application. Unit tests, as the name suggests, tests individual functions or classes. So if I had a sum function, I'm going to just test that one function to make sure that it does what it says it does. Maybe if it accepts parameter a and b, I want to make sure that a and b get added with that function. They are the cheapest to implement, the easiest to implement, and 90% of your time, you're going to be working on writing unit tests. They're very, very useful. The second one is something called integration tests. This is testing how different pieces of code work together. So it can be testing of whether the database works with the Express app that's requesting some data from the database. Or it could be how a function works with another function and how this connection between them works and testing that. Finally, we have automation tests or UI tests. This usually involves testing real-life scenarios on the browser by controlling the browser and making sure that the expected behavior on the web is correct. Now, you can have humans doing this, where they go through and click through everything on your website and make sure everything works, or you can programmatically have robots or code that you write that runs through these tests for you. As we go down into this order, they become more and more expensive to implement. What does that mean? Well, automation tests, just by hearing about what they do, are a lot more difficult to implement than unit tests, right? So all these tests have their use cases, but have their pros and cons as well. And we're going to talk about each one of these. But for now, let's leave it at that. And in the next video, we're going to talk about some of the tools that you're going to encounter as you start to write tests. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.